Hey, it's me, Size7, and welcome to part 15 of my Library of Ruina walkthrough. Continue on with the warp storyline. See what's going on here. The train has arrived. It'll be available at the terminal in 10 minutes. Quick, let's get moving. Let's see what kind of mess they got into this time. I really hope it's anything like the last time. All the passengers were sitting still in their seats, clasping their hands together. Said that's an extremely uncommon occurrence though, right? Yep, they usually do arts and crafts with each other's organs and shit. You've probably seen the educational footage, but you'd better be prepared, noob. I don't think I'll ever want to take a warp train in my life. Even if they let you forget all about it? No thanks. Knowing what happens absolutely kills the deal for me. Hey, we're all ready. It's time to start the cleanup. Open up. Fresh meat. Just follow the manual. Remember the procedures. Okay, let's appreciate the art here. Like this dude just chilling on top of a seat, probably. You can see like what, imagine that's maybe a spine or two. And then a guy put up here, like torn in half. The art is so good in this game, I love it. This one's pretty typical. Yeah, the stench is so strong even with my mask on. It feels like it's physically stinging my nose. Hello, you're still alive, right? The flesh is spread thin in an attempt to maximize the surface area. The subject is determined to feel as much pain as possible. This one would classify as a suicidal. They're pretty good, aren't you? A lot of newbies can't help but puke or faint on their first field job, even with the help of educational footage. She's from District 23. Can't say I've seen worse, but I'm used to seeing this level of grotesque things. Now, cleanup agents, identify the genomes in your designated carriages and place the passengers back in their seats. Gross. Look at that mushy eye still rolling around. I can never get used to this. I wonder how long I'll be doing this work. Said cleanup agents go through a memory erasure procedure and get their retirement fund when they quit, right? Seriously, buy that crap? You should know something's up, especially since you're from the back streets. You mean that's a lie? They'd probably drag you to some dark room and kill you without anyone knowing. Oops, don't tell anyone that I said this. My employee review results weren't too good this time around. No, it's just kidding, right? Oh, maybe I'll consider keeping quiet if you buy me dinner. How about some gapchang jiangol? Gapchang? You eat beef tripe? Rose, I'm starting to get scared of this newbie. Is that true? Gotta do some work, sort out the genomes, and I just gotta put them on the right seats, correct? Yep, just put them on their seats and they'll be restored, good as new. Sen, Lesty, stop your work immediately. We're going back to the office. What? Passengers have gone missing? Hey, keep it down. We don't want anyone else to hear that, dig? This room is in maximum security anyway. It's not just any passengers. The ones in first class seats have disappeared. The higher-ups are gonna have a headache over this too. First class passengers disappearing is already a significant risk. We've also lost some time. The time quota wasn't fulfilled. Warp Corp has never had a single incident ever since it became a wing, hasn't it? Gee, I wonder what went wrong. Engineers are investigating it for now. Take a look at this first. Oh, this must be the camera that only records important moments based on the emotional flux of people nearby. I saw it in educational footage. Oh, what's up with that? Did people merge into one at some point? These guys look like doctors. They're stitching bodies together so precisely. Pity the cleanup agents who will have to tear them apart. That entity possessed extreme physical strength. 16 of our agents were killed by that thing alone. Love Town. They made a town for themselves too, huh? That doctor's duo must have been the anchor of the town. The townsfolk are all crying since they're gone. How'd they get off the train, though? Check this out. It's footage of the first-class carriage. Who the hell are you? Ah. You know who I am, brat? Do you? I'm a board member of U-Corp. Who sent you? Who's behind this? Who could it be, I wonder? Must be the invisible strings that are doing all this. He's stitching the flesh of living people and putting strings in them. The heck is that guy? Any contact from a Hannah Association? Is that a syndicate or what? It seems to be the one called the Puppeteer. Looks like he has quite a reputation in the back streets. What's his grade? Urban Nightmare. But he just laid hands on VIPs, so he'll be exalted to a star of the city in no time. And here, the one next to him is Blood Red Knight. She's a former star of the city that was shot down some time ago. Wait, is it possible for a star to come back after being shot down? Hell if I know. Why did they have to take the train we're in charge of and do all that? Most importantly, check this part out. First class passengers, no. Puppets, as designated by Hannah Association. You can see those puppets signing a piece of paper here, yeah? Oh, they really are. They're writing their names on a gorgeous looking piece of paper. They just disappeared? Oh, what? Ain't that a real teleportation? This is the very same kind of paper they signed off on. Are you actually gonna... Bruce, please give us a break. We're signing this paper as well. This is the so-called invitation from an urban nightmare dubbed the library. I struggled to work like a dog in District 23, and I barely made it into this wing. So orders from up top, no choice but to follow them. We'll bring a few other cleanup agents with us to the library. Dude, what if we refuse this order? Then we're fired. Aw, poor Lesty. So it really wasn't a malfunction. Those crooks at W Corp, they knew everything. God damn it, I took warp trains a couple of times before. Can you remember anything that happened inside? Nope, not at all. All I can remember is admiring the marvels of modern technology after getting off the train. And look at those employees, following manuals, making jokes about it, taking care of flesh chunks so casually. Atomic Corp was no different. Still, it's rather intriguing to see another wing's mortifying secrets with my own eyes. See that everyone is the same after all, doing detestable things simply because it's their work. You can be apathetic about it because the suffering inflicted on others is none of their business. Too many sick if we made a book out of this. Imagine if this knowledge leaks into the world. I bet no one will ever want to use W Corp's trains anymore, yeah? Which would make W Corp that much more desperate to retrieve it. I'd welcome that. I can learn even more about them that way. Upfront as always, our Miss Library Director. And I take pride in that. For real? Yep, they made a whole ass kingdom on a train one time. Appointed each other as kings, knights, nobles, and whatever. Town is nothing compared to that. Treason and schemes were rampant, the kingdom fell into decline, and loyal knights made valiant efforts to save their failing country. Wow, what happened next? Greetings, dear guests. Enough chit-chats, agents. Hey there, have the puppets been here recently? I mean the puppets made from W Corp's first-class passengers, correct? How much do you know, lady? They have, of course, and you may retrieve their books so that no one else would learn of the incident. If you fail, however, other guests may obtain the books that hold the secrets of warp trains. W Corp would be totally screwed then. Going in right now. May you find your book in this place. So this fight introduces a new mechanic to the game, which is pretty cool. And it's called Charge. So you can gain charge by playing certain cards or activating certain effects, and then you can spend charge to boost other cards. This card's kind of brutal, Ripple. Yeah, Overcharge is kind of really mean. It rolls for, or it can roll for pretty high. And we've got 2 acts. We just finished handling those heaps of meat. Man, I'm dead tired. Let's work, y'all. We've got orders and our job is to follow them. Those things were disgusting. True. Not as disgusting as extra work, though. What? How is... Imagine thinking that extra work is worse than cleaning up flesh chunks. Is this overtime work? I need a break, please. I love this game's sense of humor. It's so funny. Oh my gosh, look at these speed dice rolls. And they're all going after poor Dana. I mean, I guess they're not playing anything too heavy. I'll actually try to use counter dice. My advantage here. I don't even know if I want to attempt to clash with this. I think that's a safer option. Then we'll put a bunch of damage on him since he's going to be immobilized next scene. Alright, looks good. So this is what it looks like when you're immobilized. You can still target this. It kind of looks a little weird. You can still send in one-sided attacks on it. Okay, so here comes one of these attacks. Oh, it's so much damage. Oh, that's bad. I like that. That rolled for 21. Okay, at least no one's attacking Dana while she's staggered. And this card's so brutal. I'm just gonna have to let that one-sided hit. Yeah, 1-2 of those, that's really good. That's not good. Okay, I need to redirect those. I can hope for a stagger here. Oh wait, actually I'm gonna have to do this. Okay, I think I should get the stagger with that second dice here. Alright, here's to hoping. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I might try to game this. I have a 3 cost, so I can hit with both of these guaranteed. And then use a 3 cost to kind of mess up the order. Or the speed dice is 3. Lost a couple of coworkers today, but it still stings bad. Always happens to us agents. I don't want to die. Just got into the nest and became an agent. That sucks. 3 of them just got nuked. See if I can get a boundary of death off. I can probably stagger with Dana. And do something like this. Alright, good stuff. Probably took more damage than I really should have. Let's see, how many floors do I get for this? Oh, I get 2. Okay, yeah, so if this floor goes down, I could just use HOD. No big deal. But here's the big guys for this reception. So with them, they pretty much have the same cards and whatnot, but then they have this card, Rip Space, which is kind of crazy. So it can spend charge and then a charge multiplied by 9.9%, which gives you a chance to succeed. And if it does succeed, then all these dice gain 8 power. So it can become a 10 to 12. And an 11 to 14. So that's kind of brutal. And something I didn't mention before is that these guys also have a percent chance to deal bonus stagger damage and damage, just in general. It's also kind of rough. Yeah, so charge decks are really fun to play around with. I'll definitely end up making some because I just enjoy the mechanic. I read that one. There are people looking as strong as those guys in the train. No time for chats. Brace yourselves for combat. Rose is telling us to focus. Let's get ready, newbie. So I can try and nuke this guy right off the bat. Hopefully this staggers and then we'll just kill this one off the next turn. We don't need to worry about getting any emotion levels on. Just this random cleanup agent. Because we're not trying to farm for any of their books. Because we already killed 4 of them. Counter dice doing work. Really unfortunate we didn't get the stagger there. Last turn. We can get Boundary of Death to activate. I'll put just a little more damage on him. I don't want that to be one-sided. Okay. I have to overcome things like this too, but that was my senior. Let's move on for now, no need to join them in death. It's unfortunate, but there's no point making a big deal out of it. I need to get Lesty's emotion level up. Oh, and here's our first rip space. Oh yeah, I didn't mention if it fails, then they deal 20 damage to themselves. It's really funny. Actually, maybe I'll take the clash like this. Just to mitigate damage. Oh yeah, Androp's face has a cool sound effect and just looks cool in general. Okay, so we've got another rip space coming in. Unfortunately, I don't really want it to attack Rose because she has no health. I can probably stagger, or at least my Rose, not that Rose. I can't get a stagger here. And it sucks. I don't want to play ink over because I don't want to kill this guy yet. I also don't want to take a bunch of damage. Oh, I can't play ink over anyway. Alright, we'll just do this. So much for an urban nightmare, eh? Like almost there. We just need Lusty to get her emotion level up, and then I can start killing. So we'll get Rose a little lower. And Lusty should get this scene. She just needs 3 emotion coins. Whoops. Dang, this odd doesn't know his own strength. Alright, well now we'll start killing. Guess I was the weaker one, how pathetic of me. Only just started a new life. That's the warp cleanup crew. This book does become available to the public. W Corp might face closure like Lobotomy Corp did. It would collapse in an entirely different way. Now this is an odd time to ask, but about the plan that took place in Lobotomy Corporation, the one that made you go through countless repeats. Was L Corp's disintegration part of it too? In a way. The finale of that plan was to share the enlightenment gained from that cycle with the people of the city, sacrificing L Corp as a whole. L Corp's insane suicide plan succeeded somehow, huh? No, the plan failed spectacularly, actually. I ruined it. What? But didn't the White Nights and Dark Days happen as a result of it? I never said the plan was a success, now did I? I only said it was over. What do you exactly mean by ruining it? Remember what I said about my creator? How he birthed me on a whim and renounced me when I didn't meet his arbitrary expectations? Sabotage was my modest little revenge on him for imprisoning me in the million-year cycle of reciting the same script over and over underground, and a small gift for myself. I can't bear to see his plan succeed with my 2 eyes. That means the distortion might not have happened if the plan went through? Perhaps? There's no need for me to care so much about others in the city, no? Right about that. Alright. So now we need to burn some books. Hey, got everyone. Good stuff. Now it's Credenza time. Warp cleanup agents page. Side, they ain't going to raise the ticket prices or run fewer trains like the last time, are they? What do you mean, Cap? Lobotomy Corp, the company that was supplying our energy needs, went down recently. That's a good point. It's hard to operate the trains with less energy. What do you mean by last time, though? Oh, you're too new to know? Back in the day, L Corp's nest was occupied by another energy company. That company puttered out and put our corporation into the same sort of energy shortage we're dealing with now? Not quite. It did go bust eventually, but it's more that the company was stingy about sharing its energy. Awfully strict, too. I heard it had a bad reputation among its partner companies because they were so tight-arsed about energy supply. I had to reduce the number of trains running at the time for a while. I had no idea. Don't count on me, though. I also picked this story up from my superior. That's enough chittering. Let's get back to work. Now, Lesty. To restore the train, the passengers have to be in their seats. You have to be seated on the scanning program, or so the scanning program can detect your genomic data and put you back on the right seat. Wait, what? Okay. Oh, and the scanner has trouble reading things that are moving too much, so you should be nice and stay still in your seat. So the warp cleanup crew, like us, tidy up the carriages and put the passengers in their seats according to their genomic data. And with the press of a button, ta-da! Everything goes back to normal as if nothing happened. I only learned this after I joined the Corp, but isn't that so cool? That's what we agents do. But sometimes, the cleanup crew isn't enough for the job. What's so scary about dealing with humans, you ask? I heard this story from my seniors. One time, a color hid their identity and snuck onto the train. What a shocker that must have been. It's our rule to stop powerful people like colors or key members of associations from boarding our warp trains, or to guide them to take first-class seats if they must board the train for a safe and smooth restoration process. I want them to sleep without a care instead of joining in the chaos of the other carriages. That color fixer was super tricky to deal with, they told me. Most passengers started training under the color's guidance in order to attain some kind of enlightenment. All but a few of our agents were pulverized by those people before they could even see a glimpse of the color. We aren't totally powerless against those situations. Would have gotten into so many problems otherwise, yeah? In case things get too difficult for our agents to handle, we call our Corp, a wing we're partnered with. I saw footage about our Corp in our training course. They were so cool. That was the first time seeing the mercenaries in action. They keep pressing on and wipe their targets no matter how harsh their resistance was. I was like, whoa, they really are something else. The fourth pack, was it called the Rabbit Team? Yeah, I think it was. I gotta wonder though, why rabbits of all animals? Isn't that an herbivore? Yeah, that's a good question actually. Now for Sen's page. Thought opening gates to different dimensions was our singularity. That's actually a former singularity a fallen wing used to own. It wasn't a very well known wing, so you probably won't recognize it even if I told you its name. Point is, that wing discovered a way to open gates between dimensions. The ability to create rifts in space. The wing sadly never knew how to utilize that stunning technology they'd found. The nest ended up falling before it could find a proper use for the singularity, and the company now known as W Corp sent a huge sum of money to purchase it. At first, people at this corp also struggled to think of a good way to use this tech. Even if it could make a big rip in space, entering it was a whole different matter. You don't know what's in there or if you can even come back. They had no idea, but soon enough W Corp found a way to put this dimensional gate to use, which involves T Corp's technology. With the device made by T Corp that collects time installed in the train, and a single second really passes in the carriages even if the train travels for thousands of years. It's the temporal preservation or whatever. That's what they apparently use, but it's too complicated for me. Anyway, whatew happens in the train, we revert it using our singularity of restoration, and T-Corp takes the time we collect for their own singularity. We're good business partners. This tech isn't just used for long-distance travel, it's applied to the weapons we use too. Equipment used by agents of W Corp is specialized in tearing and cutting things apart. We can precisely cleave lumps into individual pieces with the help of the space-ripping technology. And what? It makes you wonder what sick bastard actually thought that, hey, this is how we should use this space tearing technology. That's so messed up. And for Rose's page, many people are under the impression that W Corp's singularity is quick transportation via teleportation. That's how our technology is advertised to the public anyway. They aren't strictly wrong, we're just hiding the bigger picture from them. W Corp's singularity is the restoration of a previous status. To put it in layman's terms, even if your body is crushed to a pulp, it can be restored to a recorded state as long as all the pieces remain. First off, we scan the molecular structures, genomic data, and other information of the passengers required for the restoration when they sit on their seats. The scanned data is stored in the transmission device inside the train, ready to be sent to the restoration machine. With that, any and all kinds of pandemonium into which the carriages may have turned can be reverted with a single button. The machine has difficulty scanning life forms that move too much, so we need to take measures to subdue it. As with all singularities, it has small side effects. Some might leave the train with slightly more weight than before, or gain a bit of height. No one has filed a complaint about it, likely because the change is so minor that they just shrug it off as a matter of feelings. Like the body feeling lighter because of their excitement for going on a trip, or it feeling heavier because they ate too much prior to boarding the train. The passengers don't remember what happened inside the train, but that's not because we use what is this? Amnestics? Oh, so like amnesia-inducing drugs? It's a restoration procedure, reverting the people's memories to a previous state rather than selectively erasing them. In plain language, everything goes back to how it was when it was scanned. The passengers will continue the conversations they were having when they first boarded the train as if nothing happened. You won't notice any oddity or displacement in their dialogue. Any thoughts they had or words they were about to speak will be restored and resumed seamlessly. And that's pretty cool. Okay, so I want to do some general invitations here. Okay, so we've got Bamboo-Headed Kim and the Blade Lineage. Oh, we saw something about these guys in something we read. I don't remember what it was though. So this is kind of useful for Seo's page. Yeah, so you can make some really cool decks with Bamboo-Headed Kim. And like this passive attribute is really good. Slash dice power +2. Overall, this is just a really good key page. So let's try and get it. There's boiling water or searing fire. We can't afford to wait and see. I believe we'll make it work with no trouble. Remember the essentials, wield your sword with no hesitation. Well, let's begin. So you kind of don't actually want to win against this card, because then he gets a really strong counter dice that can kill you. Rose took a ton of damage last turn. I don't think I want her clashing. The fault is mine. We put ourselves in a real pickle. The waning moon gleams over the rooftop. I am sorry. What does that mean? Your rough and fitful journey comes to an end here. I hope you might rest in peace. Oh, this isn't good. So I think this dice will go first. I think it goes from left to right if it's the same. But winning against this is actually going to be really bad for me, but I have to try or else Rose might die. Okay, she's only close to dead. I know who's playing it. So you can just not activate this by not clashing with it. But I kind of want to show you guys. Actually, you know what? I'll do this. If I win, then it'll be Boundary of Death, so it looks cool. If he wins, it's to claim their bone, so it looks cool. I'll just show it off because I'm gonna win this fight. Hey, Boundary of Death won. Hell yeah. In the end, the edge of this blade claimed my life. I see a dark cloud casting over the skies. It seems as if it will rain soon. I love how, like, anime these are on this dude's. We got the emotion level, so we can just kill here. Oh, or his passive will kick in. Forgot about that. What is the passive exactly? Oh, we just got rid of it because we beat him up. One error among 1,000 thoughts. It is my mistake. Oh, cool, we got a mask. A sweeper mask. No, I didn't get it. Okay, now we did. Blade Lineage Cutthroat's page. Blade Lineage isn't known for coordination. It's little more than a cohort of people who have nowhere else to go, or those who carry the intent to murder someone. Most who seek to join us sit at lowly social positions. It's not rare for such people to hold a deadly grudge against someone. You'd best behave before those who are more skilled than you. We may be a band of murderous ruffians, but we understand our place. Now, Bamboo-Hatted Kim. We value the art of violence more than anything here. Those with an unscathed body are not permitted to join us. A swordsman who does not have a single blade scar on his skin is doubtlessly too careful when he wields his weapon, and his inane hesitation will be an obstacle. Too irresolute to endure the wounds his own blade would leave, let alone the assault of others, a body free of scars is proof of cowardice. Alas, it would be wise not to expose your wounds outside of those on your face. Well, interesting. I wonder if that's why he covers his face like this then. Because he's all scarred up. Okay, now I do want to make a deck real quick. We want mainly on base cards. This is actually kind of good here. The only thing I'm kind of missing would be some draw power. I could use this. I should also go ahead and make a charge deck with Rose's page, because they're pretty strong. We also add even more slash dice power here. I like that. And then I've got 3 more points. So I want the slash dice. Oh, it already has stagger damage in here. There should be... Okay, that's what I was looking for. Okay, so this should be okay. This has a ton of just power to it. Fortunately, it is only 1 dice, but this deck is really useful for clashing against ranged cards, since offensive dice can be re-rolled if they win against ranged attacks. And then I want to make the charge deck. Because charge is pretty good. Might not need this much draw power. I don't know. Maybe that should be okay. I do want to increase its defensive dice, though. Okay, that should be good enough. Now, I think there's one more general invitation for this tier. I thought there was. Huh, okay, maybe there's not. Or I have to use other cards. I think we can go into an abnormality battle. So I'll suit up for that. I think this will be okay with this. Oh, the Knight of Despair. Okay, so I think this actually is a really good deck for this. So let's get into it. Her blessing was pretty sweet to have. She fell to despair after realizing that she couldn't uphold what she vowed to protect. A knight whose pride turned into despair. So this fight is kind of interesting. You have to impale these swords into the knight in order to stagger her and then make her targetable. And the way you do that is that these swords with a tier on it, when you stagger them, or I think drop them to 1 HP, then she starts crying, and they all enter a phase where if you win the clash, then they'll impale into her. Interesting. So Pierce dice would actually be way better here. I don't think I have a lot of them. That's a little unfortunate. Go ahead and work on gaining some charge. I really like the animation for Rose's key page. So now we'll go ahead and spend some... Oh, I don't have enough light. No. this one's close to staggering. I could probably stagger just with this. And then I want to gain more energy so that next turn I can use burp space at a higher chance. So go ahead and play like that. Oh yeah, and so when the tiers ends up counting down, it switches to a different sword. So I can probably take this down this turn, and then we'll enter the next phase of the fight. I actually really want to keep rip space here, so I might not play anything because I don't want to spend any charge. What's clashing here? Okay, I want that to clash. Okay. Okay, so we just need to get it down to 1 HP, and that should do the trick. Okay, so now she's despairing, and we have to win these clashes in order to impale the knight. So 5 to 10, this should be pretty easy. This. Let's see, rip space, probably do work here. And then 3 to 8. Have to win all this. I'd probably just use another one of these cards here. That should work. I don't even have to play anything with Tiphereth. Ooh, I'm impaled. And now she's staggered and the screen's all broken. I love this effect. Looks so cool. Alright, so let's beat her up. Probably do more damage here. Might have to repeat it. I don't think I have enough damage to kill here. Alright, so now we're back to doing the same thing. So this is why I like binding arms in this deck. Because it reduces its own cost if you play it. Kind of unfortunate. My draw power is not too good with these decks. Kind of running low on cards. Dude, she's got 6 fragile. Oh my gosh, she just took so much damage. Whoops. Yeah, taking Pierce Dice into this fight would have been way better. But I didn't know. Kind of trying to make the best of it here. I guess I'll do a rip space, because that'll stagger. But I actually want to play that on the faster speed dice. I really don't want Courtney to get staggered here. I guess I can do this. Okay, so I can do this. That's an easy clash win. Same with this. I'm thinking I kind of want to save this for when the Knight of Despair gets staggered. I can do a ton of damage. The question is, who do I use to clash with this? 3 to 8? Okay, I think that should be fine. Yeah, and every time one of these swords impales the Knight of Despair, she takes 50 damage just from that. Okay, so we can kill her here. Alright, that was a lot closer than I thought it'd be. Hurry up, will you? Don't nag me now. This is the fastest I can go. Even a snail would be faster than that, you... Oh my gosh. Alright, I'm done moving them. Sheesh, you've got a fiery temper. Just want to get done with what I can as quickly as possible. Just so confident, why don't you tell me about your progress on learning about the city's sciences? I don't know. What's the point when singularities violate all the known laws of physics anyway? I'm not even sure us librarians can be defined as living beings either. True, singularities can be a huge obstacle to understanding the city. What do you mean by librarians being difficult to define, though? That part got me curious. What do you think librarians are? Beings that aren't human, but kinda like humans? All librarians can only exist within the library. And they're reincarnations of the beings from Lobotomy Corporation, patron librarians being the Sephiroth and assistant librarians being the employees. Heard similar explanations, yeah. Former staff of Lobotomy Corp were given a new body, basically. Angela did keep her promise, yet the Sephiroth and the employees weren't the only ones to come back. Abnormalities did too, but because most of the systems and structures of Lobotomy Corp broke down, and a lot of their energy was exhausted from the light, and all the combat they had, they can't maintain a physical form. On the other hand, the librarians have had their flesh restored, but they are psychologically unstable. So librarians carry abnormalities with them when they fight guests. And we're no exception. Oh, now I see. Still, it felt like we were just borrowing power from the abnormalities, not consumed by them. Though there have been a couple of moments where I felt as if I almost crossed some kind of line. The so-called distortion occurs once you cross that line. And Angela is adjusting things from behind the scenes to make sure that we don't. Sounds like we're dancing on a stage or something. Just as you say, it feels strange to be the ones on the stage this time. Could this be Angela's little vendetta against you guys? Could be. Great, and could you tell her to leave me out of this? Anyway, even if the assistant librarians and I were to face horrible deaths while receiving guests, we'd wake up with a reconstructed body once the library closes. We still feel the fear of pain and death whenever we greet our guests. Do you know why? Because we forget? That's right. Librarians forget the fact that they can revive while they're receiving guests. We have to face each other feeling the same kind of desperation and dread that guests feel. We must prepare ourselves for death and agony every time we greet our guests. How's that? Do you still think the library's invitations are dirty? I guess that's fair enough, but strictly speaking, we do revive at the end, don't we? Not knowing about that when we die is one thing, but still. Still kinda dirty in that sense, in my opinion. Besides, even if we're relieved of all pain when the library closes, the fact that we were hurt still stands. Can you resent Angela for putting you on this stage and toying with you? If she could make this more painful for us, she would have already. I think Angela is actually caring for us in her own way. Back in Lobotomy Corp, employees were quite literally expendables, like in all the other corporations. But here, no librarian is left behind at the very least, no one is left behind. No one is left behind, huh? I gotta say, I admire your positive mindset, Tiff. It's the wisdom that comes with age. You know, sometimes when I fall asleep and then wake up in this library, I don't feel like waking up ever again. No, it's not just here. I've always been like that, since long before I came here. Just didn't want to wake up from my dreams. But why? Because I had to start yet another jury day with nothing to look forward to. You don't hold any expectations? Nope. Already threw all expectation for anything down the drain. It's all gonna fall into ruin soon enough. Me and this world I live in. Might be suffering from a severe case of that disease of the mind you guys were talking about after all. I still believe that we can become better. But you're free to believe in whatever you want. Alright, let's go prepare ourselves for another dance, shall we? More cards. These are kinda meh. This can be okay with pierce attacks, but not too much. I think that's everything. Yeah. For this part, I'll call it here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.